What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about why some shops don't want to take your work. Now, I got a couple questions in my comments, and it was regarding embroidery, screen printing, and also graphic design. And the questions usually started out with, where do you send your embroidery to? Because I tried going local like you told me to, but the shop doesn't want to take my work. So I need a spot, let me use your shop. Or I hit up a graphic designer about vectorizing my artwork and they don't want to take the job. Or I'm trying to get some screen print work done. I went to a local shop and the shop doesn't want to take my job in. Now, first things first, the shop owner has the right to take in a job or deny a job. If that job doesn't fit their workflow, if that job is something they don't want to take on, they'll simply deny you. And it's not your fault, and it's also not the shop's fault. That's just how business works. Now, here's some reasons why these shops might not want to work with you. And I'll use my local embroidery shop as a perfect example. So when I first jumped on YouTube, a lot of people were hitting me up asking me where can they get their embroidery done. I hit up my homeboy that does my embroidery. I said, hey, you know what? I just started this YouTube channel. Got a few people asking about embroidery. Is it cool if I shoot them your email? And he was like, cool, no problem. Now you got to remember, my homeboy operates out of his garage. He used to own a shop. Now he has all of his equipment inside of his garage, so he does everything from home. Now, he owned his shop for years, so he has a pretty decent sized Rolodex of clients already. He does pretty big orders. Sometimes he does smaller orders like my orders. It could be 4 dozen, 6 dozen, something like that. But he also does really big orders for some of his bigger corporate clients who are ordering 20, 25 dozen, stuff like that. So when I first jumped on YouTube and people asked about embroidery, I was thinking I'm helping out my homeboy by bringing him some more business. So I would send his email to these people that watch me on YouTube. And let's just say a month and a half goes by, and then my homeboy's like, yo, you know what? Do not send me any more people. Take my email out of your description box. I'm not interested in working with any more new clients. So I'm like, oh, cool, man. This dude, you know, he's busy, so he wants me to take his stuff out. But in reality, what it was a lot of people that were going to him were very uneducated about the embroidery process, didn't really know what they were asking for, didn't know what they were doing. And I didn't know that. I had no idea. So what I was doing was I was sending him people that were asking him a million questions. He's just somebody that wants to run the jobs. He's used to people sending him artwork already ready to go, setting up the machines and stitching away. But what he was doing was going back and forth and doing a lot of clerical work and a lot of educating to these people that were hitting him up. So they weren't really bringing him business, they were just asking a bunch of questions. And then when they were getting ready to run, they didn't understand his minimum. So now they're asking for 12 hats or maybe 24 hats to be done. They're sending him JPEGs or sending him hand drawings and saying, all right, yeah, can you turn this into a hat? I want it to look like this. And it's just stuff that he didn't want to do. So he was turning away a lot of people, and then people would hit me up like, hey man, I hit your boy up and he didn't come through. What's up with that? I didn't know what was going on until I actually talked to my homeboy, and that's when he said, going back and forth with customers and trying to educate them and stuff like that isn't what he wants to do. That's not how he wants to spend his time. He already has paying customers that are sending him artwork and letting him do what he has to do, where he doesn't have to educate the customer. Now, I understand for a lot of people that are just new to this and trying to get into it, how are they going to get the information if it's not told to them? Once again, that's not the shop's responsibility to do that. If they don't want to do that, they could simply turn you away. They don't have to help you out. And a lot of shops won't help people out because you got to remember, this is taking time out of their day. They're not getting paid to talk to you. They're not getting paid to inform you on how the process is and what needs to be done. None of that stuff. They're getting paid per job. And if the machine isn't running, they're not getting paid. So going back and forth with somebody through email or on the phone or in the shop and just providing information is almost a waste of their time. Sad to say, but that's reality. And now there's going to be a bunch of people in the comments, well, how am I supposed to know if nobody's going to tell me? How am I supposed to get the information? Blah, blah, blah. That's where you need to hit up not just one embroidery shop, but hit up 20 embroidery shops. You have to do the work. You have to go out and actually search for the information. Just because one shop doesn't want to work with you, that's not the end of the road. That's not, your embroidery dream isn't dead. Go to the next shop. There's a million shops out there. Jump on Yelp, type in embroidery shop, look at all the results that come up. Start chipping away at that list. Hit up every single shop. That way, now you're better informing yourself. Now you understand what's going on. Now you can talk to these shops and see who wants to work with you. Just because a shop doesn't want to work with you doesn't mean the world is over. So you got to remember, if a screen print shop doesn't want to work with you, Screen print shop probably doesn't want to work with you because maybe your design isn't set up. It's not print ready. You have to send these shops or a transfer company or print shop, embroidery shop, whoever you're working with, print ready files. Meaning if you look at their website and it says send me print ready files in vector format or Illustrator or whatever it is, they'll have what they need from you on their website. And if you're sending them a picture of a hand drawing and telling them to do it, they'll be like, nah, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to take this job on. Or if it's something out of their scope of work, maybe it's going to take way too much time to do something, and they're like, man, it's not worth my time to take that job on, so they deny you. It happens to everybody. So a lot of people take it personal, and they're like, oh man, you know, this shop doesn't want to work with me, or it's very difficult to get some stuff done. Sometimes the minimums might be a little too crazy for you, right? The minimum might be 6 dozen, and you're like, oh, I only wanted to get 2 dozen or 3 dozen shirts done. So now it's the shop's fault because they don't want to take your job in? No, because if they're used to doing 6 dozen as the minimum, they know how long it takes to do 6 dozen. That's how they gauge their pricing. That's how they gauge their labor. So if you can't meet that minimum, then you got to go to another shop. You as the business owner have to think like a business owner. Even though you're a customer, you still have to think like a business owner. So if somebody came to you and said, hey, do this for me, and it's going to take you 12 hours to do, and they only wanted 1 shirt, are you going to charge them for all 12 hours of your labor? Or are you going to deny that job and be like, man, it's not even worth it. By the time I get done with this job, it's going to cost you like $100 something. It's not worth it to take that job on. So you deny them. Same thing that these shops are doing. And when it comes to graphic design, I turn away a lot of work. Sometimes people send me stuff and like, hey, can you do this for me? And if it's out of my scope or if it's gonna take me way too much time to do that, I'm like, nah, I'd rather not do that. I'd rather not take on that job. So I decline people all the time because if it's something that I don't want to do, I'm not gonna do it. And I get it. There's some people that need the work, or there's some people that don't have the liberty to turn away jobs. But you gotta remember, this is your business. Treat it as your business. If there's something that you don't want to do, then don't do it. Same exact thing goes for if you're sending some stuff out and you're like, hey, can you vector this for me, or can you digitize this for me? And the digitizer or the graphic designer or whatever it is like, nah, I don't want to do that. Nah, I can't do that for you. And you get all mad like, oh man, this is who so-and-so uses and they don't want to take my job, and what's up with that, blah, blah, blah. That's not it. You know, if your job is difficult or really detailed or something and they don't want to take that job on, so be it. They don't want to take it on. Find somebody else. So when a lot of people ask me like, hey, who do you use for this? Who do you use for that? And I say, hey, the guys that I use don't want to take in no work. They don't want no new clients. They're not interested in any new clients. And you're like, oh, I'm going to bring them so much work and so much money. It's not about the money. If they already have stuff going on in their shop and they're comfortable operating the way they are and they don't want to take on any new clients, don't take it personal. They just don't want to take any new clients, not just you, but anybody. So it's not that I'm trying to gatekeep and hold out information. I ask a lot of people that I work with if they want the business or if they want me to promote them or whatever it is. They don't want the work. Cool. These are the guys that I use. I've built relationships over the years, so that's who I personally use. If I need something digitized, I send it here. If I need something vectored, I send it here. If I need embroidery done, if I need screen printing done, if I need DTG work, whatever it is, I have the relationships already built. They're aware of what I do and provide to YouTube, the information I share, and a lot of them want nothing to do with YouTube. A lot of them don't want to have to deal with the education process of dealing with new clients because they're used to working with people that already know what they do and how to operate. Send them the file, boom, trust them that it's going to get done properly, go pick it up, pay the man. That's all it is. But if they have to sit there and go back and forth with people, then it starts taking money away from what they can actually be doing and making money with. You know what I mean? So if they're leaving so much money on the table to help you out and educate you, how are they going to recoup that money? If you're not paying for the service yet, you're just getting information and asking questions. So it's not that the people I use are assholes or whatever it is. It's just how they operate, and that's the way they run their business. I don't fault anybody on how they run their business because, once again, it's not my business. So if you're running into this roadblock and you're having a hard time finding certain things, all you got to do is just keep looking for other sources. There's not just one person that does one thing. There's a lot of people out there that do a lot of stuff. So simple Yelp search, looking for embroidery shops, screen print shops local to you. Jump on there, boom, boom, boom. Start hitting them up, calling them, walking into these shops, actually building relationships with these people. If you got questions, go into that shop and see if you could get your questions answered. If they want to help you out, go to the next shop and then go to the next shop. Everybody does it. I do it all the time. So you could do it too. If you just want to sit back and wait for the answers on YouTube, then you're just going to be waiting around. But if you really wanted the answers, you could go out and get it yourself too. You know what I mean? Hopefully this video helps somebody out. If you're stuck in this same position, don't take it personal. There's not only one shop out here. There's not only one graphic designer out here. Contact as many people as you want and start building those relationships. All right? If you got any questions, leave it in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, Big Brando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.